What if the secret to lower blood pressure isn't in a pill, but in a pickle? It might sound strange, but research now shows that certain fermented foods, like kefir, kimchi, and yogurt, can actually help lower your blood pressure naturally. These foods aren't just tasty, they're full of probiotics, bioactive compounds, and nutrients that work deep inside your body. They improve your gut health, calm inflammation, and even help relax your blood vessels. And the best part? They're backed by real science, not just hype. In this video, we'll explore the top fermented foods that lower blood pressure, how they work in your body, what to avoid and what to eat more of. If you're tired of complicated diets or heavy meds, this might be the simple, natural change your body's been waiting for. Let's dive in and see how fermented foods could quietly become your new blood pressure allies. What are fermented foods? Fermented foods might sound exotic, but chances are you've already eaten some without even realizing it. Think yogurt, pickles, kimchi, or even sourdough bread. But what exactly are they? Fermented foods are made through a natural process where beneficial bacteria, yeasts, or molds break down sugars and starches in food. This process not only helps preserve the food, but also transforms its flavor, texture, and health benefits. The magic of fermentation lies in the friendly bacteria, commonly known as probiotics, that are created during this process. These microscopic helpers support your gut health, and that in turn has a direct effect on your blood pressure. Common types of fermented foods. Here are some popular fermented foods found around the world, many of which have shown promise in improving blood pressure. Yogurt, made from milk fermented with beneficial bacteria, often high in calcium and probiotics. Kefir, a tangy, drinkable fermented milk rich in diverse probiotic strains. Kimchi, a spicy Korean side dish made from fermented vegetables, usually cabbage and radish. Sauerkraut, fermented cabbage common in European cuisine, high in fiber and probiotic content. Miso, a salty paste made from fermented soybeans, used in Japanese soups and marinades. Natto, another fermented soybean dish from Japan, known for its blood-thinning enzyme, nattokinase. Tempeh, a firm fermented soybean cake high in protein and nutrients. Kombucha, a fizzy, tangy fermented tea containing probiotics and antioxidants. Fermented garlic or black garlic, known for strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Fermentation isn't just about preserving food, it enhances the nutritional value of what you eat. The bacteria created during fermentation can improve digestion, support a healthy immune system, reduce inflammation, enhance mineral absorption, and, as we'll see, help regulate blood pressure. And unlike probiotics in capsules, fermented foods deliver these benefits in a whole food form, making them easier for your body to absorb and utilize. Next, we'll connect the dots between your gut and your heart and show how fermented foods impact your blood pressure at the root level. The gut-blood pressure connection. You might not think your gut and your blood pressure have anything in common, but science tells a different story. They're more connected than you think, and your gut microbiome may be one of the most powerful tools for regulating blood pressure. What is the gut microbiome? Inside your digestive system lives a vast dynamic world of bacteria, good and bad. This ecosystem is called your gut microbiome, and it's involved in much more than just digestion. It helps regulate inflammation, hormone production, nutrient absorption, immune responses, and yes, even blood pressure. A healthy gut microbiome is balanced with a wide range of beneficial bacteria. But when this balance is disturbed, known as dysbiosis, it can trigger inflammation, oxidative stress, and poor nutrient metabolism. All of these factors can raise blood pressure over time. How the gut influences blood pressure. Let's break down how gut bacteria impact your cardiovascular system. 1. Inflammation control. An imbalanced gut often leads to chronic low-grade inflammation, which is directly linked to elevated blood pressure. Fermented foods help by introducing probiotics that calm this inflammation and restore balance. 2. Nitric oxide production. Certain gut bacteria play a role in producing nitric oxide, a molecule that helps your blood vessels relax and expand. This dilation leads to lower blood pressure and improved circulation. 3. ACE enzyme modulation. Some strains of probiotics can naturally inhibit the angiotensin-converting enzyme, the same enzyme that blood pressure medications target. This helps reduce vascular resistance and pressure. 4. Sodium excretion. A balanced gut may improve the kidney's ability to excrete excess sodium, which helps prevent salt-induced spikes in blood pressure. 5. Hormone regulation. The gut also influences stress hormones like cortisol, which when elevated chronically can increase blood pressure. A healthier microbiome helps regulate cortisol release more effectively. Gut dysbiosis and hypertension. Studies have found that people with high blood pressure often show reduced diversity in gut bacteria and lower levels of beneficial strains like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. This disruption can lead to increased inflammation, impaired nitric oxide function, and worse blood pressure control. That's where fermented foods come in. By consuming probiotic-rich fermented foods, you help reintroduce and support healthy bacterial strains, tipping the balance in your favor and improving blood pressure from the inside out. Your gut is a command center for far more than digestion, and its impact on your blood pressure is now backed by solid science. By healing your gut, you may also be healing your heart. Coming up next, let's look at what real studies say about fermented foods and their impact on blood pressure. Scientific studies on fermented foods and blood pressure. Fermented foods aren't just traditional staples. They're being seriously studied by scientists for their impact on cardiovascular health, especially blood pressure. Let's dive into some compelling research that shows just how powerful these foods can be. 1. Kefir, a powerful fermented dairy drink. Kefir is one of the most studied fermented foods in relation to blood pressure. A 2017 study published in the journal Nutrients found that rats with high blood pressure who consumed kefir daily for 60 days had reduced arterial pressure, improved heart rate variability, better balance of gut microbiota. Why it works. Kefir contains bioactive peptides and probiotic strains like Lactobacillus kefiri, which help reduce inflammation and support nitric oxide production, both of which help lower BP naturally. 2. Kimchi, more than just a spicy side. A 2016 clinical trial in the Journal of Medicinal Food showed that participants who consumed fermented kimchi daily for 8 weeks saw a significant decrease in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Researchers credited this to probiotics, polyphenols, and ACE inhibitory peptides produced during fermentation. Even better, kimchi also helped reduce LDL cholesterol and improve insulin sensitivity, 2 additional risk factors for hypertension. 3. Probiotic yogurt for hypertensive patients. In a meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers analyzed 14 clinical trials and found that regular consumption of probiotic yogurt resulted in a modest but consistent reduction in systolic and diastolic blood pressure, particularly strong effects in people already diagnosed with prehypertension or stage 1 hypertension. The strains Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium lactis were most frequently associated with benefits. 4. Miso soup and blood pressure regulation. Miso, a fermented soybean paste, is a dietary staple in Japan. While some people worry about its sodium content, a 2012 study in hypertension research found that habitual miso soup consumption was not associated with increased blood pressure and may even help reduce it. Researchers believe miso's fermentation process creates peptides that offset the sodium's effects, acting like natural ACE inhibitors. 5. Kombucha and cardiovascular health. Kombucha is less studied in humans but has shown promise in animal models. A 2021 review in Antioxidants noted that kombucha may improve endothelial function, reduce oxidative stress, lower blood sugar and cholesterol, all of which play roles in long-term blood pressure regulation. Researchers stress that more human trials are needed, but the early data is promising, especially when kombucha is low in added sugar. What these studies mean for you? These findings suggest that fermented foods, can have real, measurable effects on blood pressure. Work through multiple pathways: gut health, enzyme inhibition, nitric oxide boost, anti-inflammation. Are most effective when eaten regularly as part of a balanced whole food diet. Coming up next, we'll break down the best fermented foods to include in your routine and how they work their BP-lowering magic. Best fermented foods for lowering blood pressure. Now that we've seen the science, let's talk about which fermented foods actually deserve a spot on your plate, especially if you're serious about managing or lowering your blood pressure. These aren't just trendy health picks. They're backed by evidence, rich in beneficial compounds, and surprisingly easy to include in your daily meals. 1. Kefir. Kefir is a fermented milk drink that's rich in probiotics, calcium, and bioactive peptides, compounds shown to lower blood pressure. Why it helps: it improves gut flora, enhances nitric oxide production, and reduces inflammation. How to use it: drink it plain, blend into smoothies, or pour over fruit. Best choice: unsweetened kefir made from cow, goat, or coconut milk. 2. Kimchi. This Korean staple is more than just spicy cabbage. It's a probiotic powerhouse. Why it helps: contains Lactobacillus plantarum, which helps reduce systolic pressure and balance gut bacteria. Bonus: high in fiber, vitamins A and C, and beneficial plant compounds. Tip: look for kimchi that's refrigerated and unpasteurized to get the live cultures. 3. Miso. Made from fermented soybeans, miso is a salty paste used in soups and marinades. Why it helps: contains ACE inhibitory peptides, the same targets as some blood pressure meds. How to use it: stir into warm, not boiling water to preserve its probiotics. Watch out, it's high in sodium, so use in moderation or choose low-sodium versions. 4. Sauerkraut. Fermented cabbage rich in fiber, antioxidants, and probiotics. Why it helps: contains lactobacillus, strains that support gut health and may improve blood vessel flexibility. Tip: go for raw, refrigerated versions. Canned sauerkraut is often pasteurized and probiotic dead. Serving idea: add to sandwiches, grain bowls, or as a tangy side dish. 5. Tempeh and natto. Both are made from fermented soybeans, but very different in taste and texture. Tempeh, firm, nutty, and protein-packed, great for heart-healthy vegetarian meals. Natto, slimier and stronger in flavor, but contains nattokinase, an enzyme that helps prevent blood clotting and support circulation. Why they help: support vascular health and reduce inflammation. Cooking tip: steam or pan-fry tempeh and eat natto cold with rice. 6. Fermented garlic, black garlic. Aged garlic that becomes sweet, soft, and packed with antioxidants. Why it helps: studies show it reduces arterial stiffness and oxidative stress, key factors in hypertension. How to use: mash into sauces, add to salads, or eat whole for a sweet savory boost. 7. Kombucha. A fermented tea rich in acids, polyphenols, and mild probiotics. Why it helps: may support blood vessel function and reduce oxidative stress. Best choice: choose low sugar, raw kombucha. Avoid overly sweet pasteurized versions. These foods each bring something unique to the table, and when eaten consistently, they can become a natural, delicious part of your blood pressure management toolkit. Up next, let's dig into how they actually work in your body, the mechanisms behind their BP lowering effects. How these foods lower blood pressure? The science. Fermented foods do more than just taste good. They have complex biological effects that influence your cardiovascular system at multiple levels. Here's a breakdown of the mechanisms behind how fermented foods help lower blood pressure and why the results are real, not just anecdotal. 1. Probiotics and the gut-heart axis. Fermented foods introduce live beneficial bacteria, probiotics, into your gut. These microbes balance your microbiome, lower inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, modulate hormones and immune response. This cascade of effects ultimately reduces vascular inflammation and improves blood vessel function, both of which are key in lowering systolic and diastolic pressure. 2. ACE inhibitory peptides. Some fermented foods, especially kefir, miso, and fermented soy products, contain bioactive peptides that inhibit the angiotensin-converting enzyme, ACE. ACE is the same enzyme targeted by common BP medications like lisinopril. When it's inhibited, your blood vessels stay more relaxed and open, lowering overall pressure in your arteries. These peptides are formed during the fermentation process and have been shown to improve endothelial function, promote vasodilation, lower blood pressure in both animals and humans. 3. Nitric oxide enhancement. Nitric oxide, NO, is a natural compound your body uses to relax blood vessels and improve circulation. Certain strains of probiotics, especially Lactobacillus plantarum, found in kimchi and sauerkraut, may boost NO production, reduce oxidative stress, improve arterial elasticity. The result? Better blood flow, reduced vascular resistance, and lower pressure. 4. Anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic inflammation is a major driver of high blood pressure. Fermented foods decrease levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines, increase short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which protect the gut lining, help train the immune system to respond more appropriately. Together, these effects calm the body's inflammatory processes, which supports more stable blood pressure over time. 5. Better mineral absorption. Fermentation can increase the bioavailability of key minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, all essential for heart health and blood pressure regulation. For example, yogurt and kefir improve calcium and potassium absorption. Sauerkraut and kimchi enhance magnesium utilization. These minerals help regulate muscle contraction, fluid balance, and vascular tone. 6. Support for insulin sensitivity and weight control. Insulin resistance and obesity are major risk factors for hypertension. Fermented foods can improve blood sugar regulation, support healthy weight maintenance, reduce abdominal fat, the type most associated with cardiovascular risk. By improving metabolic health, fermented foods indirectly support long-term blood pressure stability. Fermented foods help your body fight high blood pressure through direct enzymatic effects, gut and immune modulation, improve circulation and vessel flexibility. These aren't just folk remedies, they're backed by clear biological pathways that align with modern hypertension science. Next up, how to start adding these foods to your life the smart and safe way. How to add fermented foods to your diet safely. Fermented foods can be powerful allies in the fight against high blood pressure, but like any change in your diet, they should be added intentionally and gradually. Here's how to get started. Maximize benefits and avoid common mistakes. 1. Start slow, let your gut adjust. Fermented foods introduce live bacteria into your digestive system. For most people, that's a good thing, but if your gut isn't used to them, it can cause temporary symptoms like bloating, gas, mild stomach cramps. To avoid discomfort, begin with one small serving per day, e.g., half a cup of yogurt or a tablespoon of sauerkraut. Slowly increase your intake over a week or two. Rotate different types for better microbiome diversity. Your gut will adapt and the benefits will build with consistency. 2. Watch the sodium content. Many fermented foods, especially kimchi, miso, and sauerkraut, are salt-heavy, and too much sodium can undo their blood pressure benefits. Tips to keep sodium in check. Choose low sodium or reduced salt versions when possible. Limit portion sizes if the sodium is high. Offset salty fermented foods with potassium-rich vegetables and fruits in the same meal. Always read labels. Some commercial brands are loaded with preservatives and added salt. 3. Look for live cultures. Not all fermented products are probiotic-rich. Many commercial versions are pasteurized, which kills off the beneficial bacteria. Look for labels that say live and active cultures. Refrigerated products, these are more likely to contain active probiotics. Traditional or raw brands with minimal processing. Avoid shelf-stable sauerkraut or kombucha that has been heat-treated unless specifically labeled probiotic. 4. Avoid excess sugar and additives. Some fermented foods like flavored yogurts or bottled kombucha can contain added sugar, artificial sweeteners, preservatives, thickeners, and gums. These can counteract the health benefits and even trigger blood pressure spikes in sensitive individuals. Stick to plain, unsweetened yogurt or kefir, kombucha with less than 5 grams of sugar per serving, clean ingredient lists with minimal additives. Fermented foods are potent, but only when consumed wisely. Start small. Choose clean, probiotic-rich options. Pay attention to sodium and sugar content, and build a sustainable routine that supports your blood pressure goals. Coming up next, who should be cautious when adding fermented foods to their diet and how to make informed choices. Who should be cautious? Fermented foods are powerful, but they're not ideal for everyone. While most people can benefit from adding them to their diet, certain individuals should approach fermented foods with extra care and medical guidance. 1. If you're sensitive to sodium. Many fermented foods, especially traditional versions like sauerkraut, miso, and kimchi, are naturally high in salt. If your doctor has advised you to strictly limit sodium due to advanced hypertension, kidney disease, heart failure, you'll want to choose low-sodium versions, stick to small portions, balance your meal with potassium-rich vegetables to help offset the sodium. Always check labels. Even healthy options can be sodium bombs. 2. If you have histamine intolerance, fermentation increases histamine levels in food, and for people with histamine sensitivity, this can trigger symptoms such as headaches, flushed skin, hives or itching, digestive upset, runny nose, or asthma-like symptoms. Fermented cheeses, cured meats, vinegar-based pickles, and even kombucha can be problematic for this group. If you suspect you're histamine sensitive, limit your intake of aged or fermented foods. Consult a healthcare provider or allergist for guidance. Try rotating or spacing out servings to reduce overload. 3. If you have a compromised immune system. While rare, people with weakened immune systems, such as those undergoing chemotherapy, post-transplant patients, or individuals with advanced HIV, should be cautious. Why? Because fermented foods contain live bacteria, and in immunocompromised people, even beneficial bacteria can potentially lead to infection. In these cases, choose pasteurized options or take probiotics under medical supervision. Avoid homemade ferments unless they're handled in a sterile environment. Consult a doctor before making major dietary changes. 4. For pregnant women. Fermented foods can be a great addition during pregnancy, especially for gut health, but it's still important to avoid unpasteurized soft cheeses and fermented raw dairy, risk of listeria. Watch sodium intake. Choose commercial food-safe brands. Fermented foods offer fantastic benefits, but not everyone responds the same way. If you fall into a higher risk category, you don't have to avoid them completely. Just be selective, start small, talk to your healthcare provider if needed. Next, let's wrap everything up with a powerful conclusion and call to action. No recap, just clarity and motivation. Final thoughts. The path to better blood pressure might not lie in more restrictions, but in reintroducing ancient, natural foods that nourish your body from within. Fermented foods have quietly supported human health for centuries. Now science is catching up, confirming what tradition has long understood. What happens in your gut shapes your heart. Whether it's kefir in the morning, a spoonful of kimchi with dinner, or miso soup on a rainy day, these simple choices can create profound shifts in your blood pressure, inflammation, and overall well-being. This isn't about trend following or food fads. It's about tuning into what your body already knows and trusting the evidence that backs it up. So here's your challenge. Pick one fermented food from today's list. Try it. Taste it. Let it work quietly and consistently in your system. Because the best part about fermented foods, you don't have to do it all at once to start seeing results. Just one small, smart shift, repeated daily, can become your secret weapon against hypertension. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. It helps us reach more people who need this information. Have you tried fermented foods for your blood pressure? Share your experience in the comments. We read everyone. And don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed ways to heal naturally, eat smarter, and take control of your health, one informed choice at a time. Your blood pressure story isn't finished. Let's write a better ending, starting in your gut.